I'm Tiara Bailey, and my mock interview today is going to be for the staff accountant position that is open at my current employer, which is an auto auction in Elkridge. As a business administration major, majoring in entrepreneurship, I have learned a lot of financial processes and accounting functions that I believe will make me a positive candidate for the staff accountant position. Not only am I or will I be a future graduate and bachelor's degree, years experience within the auto industry, so I am familiar with a lot of the processes here, as well as comfortable with the different systems that we use here at the auction that are utilized in the accounting department. So, as an administrator here for 3 years, I have gained a lot of experience and I understand different things that affect the revenues and the expenses that our dealers, which are our customers, incur here. And I believe that I am easily trained because we have learned an entirely new system here. And not only have I learned it and mastered it, but I've also helped other employees and I've helped our customers become more familiar with navigating through these new operating systems here in Manheim. So that's just what I wanted to talk about myself as far as what I can bring to the table. I feel like you guys do know me, so it's a bit of a comfortability there. But as far as my strengths, not only am I well versed in the auction industry, but I also bring my educational background in accounting principles, financial analysis, and I am excellent with Excel, which are all great things and skills that a staff accountant needs to be able to do proficiently. Now, time that I work on a team to achieve a goal, I want to talk about how, as a front desk or front office administrator, I constantly work in a group setting. But one particular incident that I want to highlight is one of our dealers, Dark Cars. He was having an issue with his account and our new database giving him accurate information. So the problem was he wasn't being paid on a timely fashion. I work in a team of professionals of at least 3 to 6 of us on any given day, and that by itself can be challenging at times. But it becomes a great opportunity to learn different things from others, especially when you're dealing with such such as Dark Cars, which has many stores and they can be very demanding. The account can be very demanding at times. And when you're dealing with a new system that you're not, as proficient or familiar with, speaking myself, it's nice to know that I have other coworkers that have strength other than myself. And a few of them are really great with systems management and have grasp the concept of our new system really well. Not saying that I have it myself, but it's just nice to know that I can rely on others for help when these types of situations come up. So what I did was I relied on help me. I want to say comb the system to try to figure out how we could make sure that the data that the reports were feeding were correct. So what we did, each of us split up his inventory. So we ran an inventory list to figure out all the titles that were in the system. Because the problem was titles were in the system, but he wasn't being paid because they weren't attached to the right record. And I believe a part of the issue was systems management. We had to learn how to effectively manage the system and how the data flows throughout it because it's time sensitive. So basically, we had to make sure that everything was being reported immediately, in a sense, or concurrently, so that it could all match up at the end of the day and they'll be able to receive their full bank statements. So I consulted two other co-workers. We split up the inventory in three. We each ran the VINs into the database and figured out the common factor of why these groups of titles weren't being processed timely like the others. And we came to the conclusion that these vehicles had ARB previously and simply the system wasn't able to catch those records. So that was just something that I would have to manually go in and do weekly to assure that everything is up to date. So that was fun, actually. I learned a lot about that. Running different inventory lists. That was another skill that I added to my resume, and it was nice hearing other title clerks' input as far as managing the system because we all ultimately have to make sure that all our dealers are getting paid in a timely fashion. So my apologies for moving the camera. That was great. A time that I failed. Well, I do want to talk about when I initially started with the company. I started part time, and this was 1 day a week. But eventually, I started to see the opportunities were opening up, and I started to feel more confident in the company and how I could see myself grow. So I wanted to pursue a full time position. Well, I tried and I didn't get it the first time. I did get an interview and I believe the interview went really well, but I was not chosen or offered the position. And of course, like anyone who wants something, I was kind of knocked down. I guess you want to say taken aback by it because I seen others getting hired over me and I just didn't feel as though they put a lot of work ethic in the couple of hours that I did on those 1 day a week. So I was surprised to see them moving up within the company. And when I tried, I wasn't successful. So initially, I was down on myself and I kind of wrote it off as though maybe they just weren't looking for, I guess, a certain type of people because in this environment they do hire a lot of older people. So I just assumed maybe they just didn't want anybody who was proactive in their education, or they were looking for a certain type of person that they didn't have to hire at a certain pay wage. I just made up anything to just dismiss the position, and I started looking elsewhere for other jobs. But then I came to the conclusion that I wanted to try again. So I got some feedback from the hiring manager. Another position came open in the front office. I got some feedback from the hiring manager, and there were some things that she talked with me about, and basically her verdict was I didn't show my passion for the auction. Like I acted as if the job wasn't important to me. Like I could take it or leave it. So I became more proactive at the office. I started to volunteer my time more often. I would come in on days that I was normally off, and I started to volunteer in the titles department and ask them for specific duties that I could take on that would help with the operations, with daily operations. And luckily for me, another opportunity came up, another position came in, and by this time I was already basically doing the job. I was just volunteering my hours. Obviously, I was getting paid as well, but I wasn't an official team member. But since I had taken that initiative and I had began communicating with my coworkers that I wanted to be full time and that I was available and just showing more interest, when I did interview for the position, I was offered it. And here I am today. I'm still with the company. So it was actually wound up being a really great decision for me. I believe that you should hire me because I have shown from day one, starting, that I am here for the long term, that I am committed to the business and the goals of the business, because I have traveled the wave as far as the change from the old system to the new. We've had a lot of customers leave, we've had a lot of employees leave, but not only have I endured the wave, but I have embraced it and I have helped enhance the customer experience, which is ultimately what the new system was designed to do. And I believe that I have shown that by taking on no responsibilities and filling in for other processes that we no longer have. For example, I want to say a lot of functions that we did in AS400 that we aren't able to do, such as instantly cut new dealer checks. I have taken on the responsibility of submitting snow tickets or contacting the service center that can help our dealers versus, letting them handle it themselves, which I believe has helped ease a lot of their stresses. I also believe that my knowledge in the front office processes and how they affect the revenues and expenses in operations, that knowledge can be used in the accounting department and helping our customers understand this new accounting system that's come along with our new system. Because I believe that in the front, a lot of our calls and customer concerns are about their accounts, and they're reconciling different credits or debits that they may find that they don't quite understand, or they can't follow the trail in the invoices. By me having that front office experience and knowing the different I want to say policies and rules that affect these monies owed and their ARs, that can help in the accounting department, because I know that you guys are backed up and that you could use some reinforcement so that I can easily and confidently take on the position and the duties and responsibilities of the position, because I have a background in accounting, so I do know a lot of the basic functions. I am familiar with Excel and the systems that we use here at the auction. And with you guys training and support, I believe that I can easily be trained in 3 to 6 months time to be not only proficient, but to be able to aid in the workflow of this department, because I have maintained a GPA of a 3.0, which shows my commitment to meeting deadlines and to excellence. And I believe that that will be easily shown in my work ethic. You see how I've handled dark cars these past 3 years, and that I am